Hi everyone, Sandra Duran Wilson here, and welcome to this week's Mixed Media Soul Sparks. Every week I like to bring you new ideas, inspirational tips, fun new products, or some unusual ways to work with what you have. This week I'd like to work with more of ideas and concepts around the shape of your art. One of the biggest paintings I ever made was a 12-foot by 7-foot painting. And I did it before I even had my studio. It was painted in an extra bedroom of the house. And the way I did it was painting it on several doors, which were then, I was able to then, take them, pack them separately and ship them. So I've always loved the idea of working in triptychs or 5, 6, 7 pieces, because I was able to work in a smaller space but yet create a larger piece of work, and it just made it easier for me to move them around too. So I want to talk to you today about some different ways of doing that. Obviously I'm not going to have some really big pieces to show you, although the painting behind me is actually painted on a part of a door, so you can hear it's like a hollow core door. So that was the size of the paintings, but there were quite a few of them, and it was a vertical piece. Now, what I have here are some very small pieces, and these are little sample boards from Ampersand, and ideas of how you might work with something to make a tiny piece even bigger. But why would you do that? I mean, it's got a different feeling. So that's the idea I want to talk about. Why would you break something apart rather than making one big painting? This is a gradation. Let me just use this one. A gradation of your colors from reds to orange to yellow, greens, blues, violets. This is the rainbow. Roy G. Biv, remember that from your science classes. Now, I could work with these on a piece of wood, arrange them however I might want. So it's giving me a different feeling, a different voice than if I created one solid piece. So that's the idea behind it. The other idea would be, and I'm going to show you something with this in a minute, but let's look at these panels. These are 2 cradled gesso boards. I'll turn this one around. So it's an 8 by 24 and a 6 by 24. Now, this wouldn't be a really big painting if I had something that was, even 14 by 24, if these 2 were together. But it's the idea. Sometimes the concept of what I might be painting is like, maybe let's just say above and below. So I've got an intention and an idea of why am I splitting something apart. I could paint these together. If you have a cradle board like this, very easy to just set them together on a table and paint across the whole thing, so that it is one piece. And then you can break them apart. And that's another idea. But what if you want to paint something on canvases and you want them to be together and stay together? I'm going to pull this bigger piece up here. Let's see if I can fit this in. So these are 2 different canvases. And here I've actually drilled through the wood stretcher bars and I've bolted them together. And these are not necessarily, big pieces. I would do something like this with a big piece to be able to ship it in a smaller container. However, I took 2 different paintings that weren't working separately. I bolted them together and then made them into one painting. So there's a couple of purposes for this. So you want to have a bolt long enough to go through. You'll also need a drill long enough to drill through this part, because obviously these are drilled separately. So you want to line them up as best you can. So I've got the bolt, I've got a washer, and then this wing nut. Now, if you're not planning on bolting them together like this, and you want to just paint your canvases, you could just take them and tape them together on the back side and then flip them over and paint them on the front. The reason I decided to bolt these together is because I really wanted them as a vertical piece. And when you have things separate and you're trying to then hang them vertically, you usually have some space in between. But I wanted these to match because I put this piece of paper here. I glued the piece of paper on, let it dry, and then I actually cut it afterwards. So I created this painting to go together as one. This works really well if you want to do big, larger pieces and you don't have a lot of room. So that's another way to do it. Now, when you get into mounting these, like let's go back to these small pieces. I've got a couple of different ways I could do this. Something this small, you might be able to just use a regular adhesive. It'd probably be okay. But I've got another product I like to use. It's a two-part epoxy, almost like a putty. And I can use that, and it really holds it well. So if I had something bigger, I might use that. Here I might just use the glue. Now this is just a piece of leftover plywood that I have, and it's not even perfect. You can see that little edge is kind of torn off, but it's just leftover piece of wood. So it kind of solves the problem of I don't need to deal with framing issues. But let's say you had, you've done this on paper. So here's another idea. You have a large piece of paper and you're working on that, and there's just a small section of that that really works. So you cut that out, and then maybe another part of it, and you want to put them together as a piece that's going to work together. You can just glue that onto canvas or onto panels. I want to show you one other idea, and then I'll come back to this other thing I was going to talk about. Now, this is rare earth magnets. They're these tiny little magnets, but they're really strong. And you can see that they're holding each other through this paper. So if I took the magnets and I glued the magnet onto the back of this little panel, or even let's say if it were cardstock. Now this is cardstock. So let's say I had another piece of cardstock painted and I wanted to adhere this without gluing this on. That's where these are great. So I just take these, I got these at the craft store, and they're really, really strong. So if I put it on this side, I would just glue that on. And then when that's dry, you see it just wanted to pop onto that one. I can gather them. Then I would put it on the back side, and it's going to hold that in place. Now another idea you can use with this is that if you wanted to get regular magnets and put them on there, or even just use these, but rather than trying to hold it through a piece of paper or something, get a piece of metal. So you've got magnets on the back side of these, and you could create a lot of these small pieces and put them onto the metal, and then you could always rearrange them. So it's always fun to do that. And you can get a piece of sheet metal probably at the home supply store or metalworking place. One more idea before we go. These are some little Velcro circles, and they have an adhesive back. And I could just put those onto here, or if I were working with paper, I could put these on and glue them the same way I did with the magnets. Here's another type of Velcro strips that you can cut to size. So all of these ideas are about, it's kind of like the statement you want to make with why are you breaking something apart? Why are you, not just why do you want to make something bigger, using more canvases if you have limited space. That's obvious. but why would you want to break something apart, and what is the intention behind it? And just various ways that you can put it together. So I'll put a lot of these resources in the notes, show you some pictures of other pieces that I have created in various scales. That's the name of the class, is practicing your scales. So it's a good idea to try to work large every once in a while, or try to work really small. And I remember the first time I tried to work small, I was like, how do I do this? It's so tiny. So challenge yourself to work really small or to try something really big. And look for other classes on my website, sandraduranwilson.com. Check out all of the available classes that are self-paced and the available workshops. I've got some coming up in Europe and hopefully Australia. One of these years we'll get to go back. So until next week, have fun. I'll see you then. Join the Creative Awakening community on Facebook, where you'll be able to post your art, connect with other creatives around the world, and ask questions. Use the hashtag MixedMediaSoulSparks when posting your work on social media. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next week.